Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about health of children. Health of children is a very important topic. Health of future generations depend upon the health of the children. And several research studies have shown that the congenital diseases often depend upon the health condition of the parents during their early childhood. That means if one generation is witnessing serious health related complications now, then the next generation may have some kind of congenital disease because of that, non-communicable disease because of that, and research studies have shown those things. So keeping in mind all these things, we have taken into consideration health of children. Now, this is very heterogeneous and multi-layered because human population is actually heterogeneous. So I have prepared my slide for this and I'm going to share. Yes, here it is. Health of children, and this lecture is actually divided in 4 sections. Why do we need to talk about health of children? Then WHO guidelines for health of children, then major problems in India, and then policies and programs in India and main achievements. Now, why do we need to talk about health of children? Now, this question could be answered in several possible ways. But to keep the things simple and to follow some of the standard literature, I'm quoting here the WHO literature. WHO, in one of its reports titled as Nurturing Care for Early Childhood Development, published in 2018, raises an important question. What is that question? The question is this: what is one of the best ways a country can boost shared prosperity, promote inclusive economic growth, expand equitable opportunity, and end extreme poverty? That means, what is one single step by which most of the problems of this world, like uh, shared shared prosperity, inclusive growth, equitable opportunity, and ending the extreme poverty, could be achieved or resolved? This question is answered by WHO itself, and the answer is that invest in early childhood development. That means if we invest in early childhood development, then most of the problems, or at least these 4 basic problems identified here, could be resolved. Investing in early childhood development is good for everyone: governments, business, communities, parents, and caregivers, and most of all, babies and young children. It is also the right thing to do, helping every child realize the right to survive and thrive. Further, it it has also been examined from economic perspective, and investing in early childhood development is cost effective. For every $1 spent on early childhood development interventions, the return on investment can be as high as $13. That means economically also this is very viable. Early childhood development is also key to upholding the right of every child to survive and thrive. That means this is one of the most important and desirable investment. I have quoted another literature also, that too from WHO. WHO, in a different paper titled as Early Child Development, Child Health and Development, says the early childhood years are a period of great opportunity but also great vulnerability. So now it is not only a period of opportunity but also of vulnerability. So this point is highlighted here. Responsive caregiving and nurturing, balanced nutrition, and safe environment are important for children to live, learn, grow, and develop to their full potential. Uh, Going beyond these things, several other declarations and preamble and literature talk about health rights of the individuals. Universal Declaration of Human Rights do talk about this. It says that everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his or her family. Then preamble to the World Health Organization affirms that it is one of the fundamental right of every human being to enjoy the highest attainable standard of health. Alma Ata Declaration also talks about health for all. That means when we talk about health for all or health as a human right, then it is a required thing for each and every person, including each and every children. So we need to talk about health of the children. Then we come to two very specific goals. One is MDG and another is SDG. Goal number 4 of the MDGs talk about reducing child mortality. We know that Millennium Development Goals have identified 8 goals at the turn of the century. Then in 2015, basically 17 goals were identified as sustainable development goals. And out of these 17 goals, first 3 goals of SDGs talk about ending poverty, ending hunger, and ensuring health for all. So all these 3 goals talk about health of the children. And so we can say that health of the children is really very important issue. It is important for our own survival, for survival of humanity. Now, when we talk about importance of health of children, then the next important issue is what are the guidelines. Now, again, nation states have their own guidelines. So instead of talking about the guidelines at the level of the nation state, we are talking about the WHO guidelines because most of the nation states follow the WHO guidelines. The nurturing care framework, this is one of the important framework developed globally. Nurturing care framework, WHO, UNICEF, and World Bank all have played important role in this. The nurturing care framework was launched at the time of the World Health Assembly in 2018 to provide a roadmap for action. Now, this nurturing care is characterized by a stable environment that promotes health and optimal nutrition, protects children from threats, and gives them opportunities for early learning through affectionate interactions and relationship. It has also been shown through a picture which will come in the next slide. This nurturing framework describes how a whole of government and a whole of society approach can promote nurturing care for young children and outlines guiding principles, strategic action, and ways of monitoring progress. Let us see it in a picture or in a figure. Uh, This is also provided by WHO, the components of nurturing care, WHO guidelines. So we can see that the 5 components are identified here, and basically good health, then adequate nutrition, then responsive caregiving, then security and safety, and then opportunities for early learning. So all these 5 components together makes it the comprehensive nurturing care meant for each and every children. I have identified the important features of all these components. So component 1, that is talking about good health. It includes monitoring children's physical and emotional condition, having hygiene practices which minimize infection, using promotive and preventive health services, and seeking care and appropriate treatment for children's illness. So basically good health talks about all physical and even emotional issues related to children. Then we talk about adequate nutrition. Nutrition is the second most important priority for the children because health is not possible without having proper nutrition. Then the third component is responsive caregiving. So caregiving is identified in multiple ways, but most important feature here again is recognizing and responding to illness because children are susceptible to several types of communicable disease and illness. So one should be in a position to recognize them early and respond to them early. Then the remaining two components are opportunities for early learning and security and safety. Now, health problems among children and the main issues. Once we have talked about the need of and then the available guidelines for taking care of the health needs of the children, then we need to understand what are the specific challenges or I have identified the challenges in context of India in my later slides, but let's have just a small picture existing at global level. Again, WHO has provided some figures. 30% of children under 5 are estimated to be stunted, and 18% have low weight for height, and then 43 million children are overweight. Nearly 9 million children die every year from preventable disease. This is very important. 9 million children die every year from preventable disease and infection. So if these are preventable diseases and infection, they should have been prevented and these deaths could have been avoided. So at a larger level, this is the concern that all those mortalities and morbidities caused because of preventable disease and infection should be avoided. Then there are over 2 billion cases of diarrheal disease every year. Now, diarrhea is a preventable thing. Then millions of children are at the risk of becoming malnourished. Every third child in India is malnourished. Malnourishment is prevailing at a huge level in India. We have shown it through the National Family Health Survey latest reports. According to UNICEF India, over 2 million children die every year from preventable disease. In India, over 2 million children die every year because of preventable disease. IMR in India is 63 deaths for every 1,000 live birth. I have taken up these figures in detailed way, later slides also. So I'm skipping the rest of the things here. Now, when we talk about health of children in India, then I'm focusing primarily on the government reports. Following the Government of India's Call to Action Summit in February 2013, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare launched reproductive, maternal, newborn, child, plus adolescent health. Reproductive, maternal, newborn, child, plus adolescent health, RMNCH plus A, to influence the key interventions for reducing maternal and child morbidity and mortality. So there is one comprehensive program which addresses reproductive and maternal and newborn and child and adolescent health. In India, an estimated 26 million of children are born every year. As per census 2011, the share of children 0 to 6 accounts 13% of the total population in the country. So every year, 26 million of children are born. So if we want to understand a number of children, the volume or the magnitude for the 0 to 6, then we can multiply 26 by 6. The concept of continuum of care that emphasizes on care during critical life stages in order to improve child survival is being followed under the national program. This continuum of care, this approach, I mean, looking at the health of the children right from the stage of reproductive, then maternal, and then newborn to up to the level of adolescent. So this is giving us a clear-cut picture related to continuum of care. The newborn and child death and sorry, the newborn and child health are now the two key pillars of the reproductive, maternal, newborn, child, and adolescent health. Two key pillars are one is newborn and child health. So we'll try to see these things. Now here we have the statistics or figures related to the neonatal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, and under 5 mortality rate. We can see that the latest figure talk about the years 2016 and 17. So basically, in 2016, neonatal mortality rate was 24, and in 2017, it got reduced to 23. There is 1 point decline. Similarly, in infant mortality rate from 34 to 34, 1 point decline, and in under 5 mortality rate from 39 to 37, that is 2 point decline. That means we can say that in 2017 we are witnessing some kind of progress in all the three indicators. uh, Child health goals under national health policy 2017, we had the national health policy, and it has provided a specific goals, a specific targets. So keeping in mind the statistics available for the year 2017, as we discussed in the previous slide, here we have some kind of targets. So these were identified in 2017. That time the neonatal mortality was 23, and this is supposed to come to 16 by 2025. And this infant mortality, which was 33 in 2017, this was supposed to be at 28 by 2019. And then under 5 mortality was 37 in 2017. It is supposed to come to 23 by 2025. So I hope that we will get the new figures very soon, and we'll be in a position to make an appraisal of the situation that where we are. Now, child health goals under SDG, that is the Sustainable Development Goals. So first we had the Millennium Development Goals at the turn of the millennium, and then in 2015 we had the Sustainable Development Goals, and there are specific goals identified here also. I've mentioned these goals. Then we come to actually what are the causes of mortality. Child mortality, infant mortality, and neonatal mortality. I've seen that all these patterns are almost similar at the three level. So cause of child mortality in India, the major causes of child mortality in India as per the SRS reports 2010-13 are prematurity and low birth weight. That is premature uh, birth of the child before the stipulated time, premature, and low birth weight at the time of the birth. So almost 30% of the children are dying because of this single reason. And then pneumonia is a huge problem, 17%, diarrheal disease, almost 9%, and other non-communicable disease 8.3%. So we can see that the causes of child mortality, and then the causes of infant mortality and causes of neonatal mortality are almost similar, and most of these are actually preventable causes. So because prematurity and low birth weight, so the risks related to prematurity and low birth weight could have been minimized, and then diarrheal or pneumonia things could be improved through healthcare facilities. That is why we are saying that most of these premature mortalities are preventable. Now, causes of under 5 child death in India is also highlighted through this figure. This is again a government figure, and we can see the share of different causes in a comprehensive way here. Then I have included some of the figures provided by National Family Health Survey. This NFHS 4, and I have also mentioned NFHS 3 in some of the slides. This is very important data, the most authentic data provided by Government of India. Now we have used selected indicators. One of the most important indicator that is related to nutrition and basically food is uh, adequate diet. That is primarily food related thing. Now percentage prevalence of non-breastfeeding children aged 6 to 23 months receiving an adequate diet. That means we are talking about uh, what percentage or what proportion of non-breastfeeding children who are in the age of 6 months to 24 6 months to 23 months are receiving an adequate diet. And we can see that all these states, the very important states, are actually performing very poorly. I mean, like states like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, they are all providing, less than 10% adequate diet to the non-breastfeeding children. So this is a very dismal, this is a very pathetic condition. The best performing states are Tamil Nadu, then Jammu and Kashmir, but even the best performing states are not providing near about 90% or 100% kind of thing. Even this is around 50%. And then we can see the disparity between urban and rural, like West Bengal, which is having slightly better uh, performance, but we can see that this urban, this is in the blue, and then rural, there's a huge gap between urban and rural. So children who are not exclusively depending upon mother feeding, they are not getting adequate diet. This is a very problematic and uh, pathetic condition. Now, the second data, which is talking about the total children, that is breastfeeding as well as non breastfeeding, and that means all children who are in the age group of 6 to 23 months. Almost all of them are not receiving adequate diet. Again, we can see the performance of these states: Rajasthan, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Bihar. They are all less than 10%. That means the condition is very pathetic. NFHS 4 15-16 fact sheet reveals that the All India average of total children aged 16-23 months receiving an adequate diet is only about 9.6%, and 90.4% children aged 6 to 23 months not receiving an adequate diet. If they are not receiving an adequate diet, what kind of health condition they may have? This is the most serious question. And the consequences of not having adequate food and diet is visible here. Here we can see the problems of stunting and wasting and underweight. So when we look into the problem of stunting, which is the ratio of height with age, that means the children is not developing proper height with the increase in age. This is stunting. We can see that Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, all these states are having more than 50% of the children are having the problems of stunting. यानी उनकी हाइट प्रॉपर नहीं ग्रो कर पाती है. Some of the best performing states are again Mizoram, Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, and Kerala. But even there, this problem is not is having substantial prevalence. I mean, around more than 10% to 20%. So this problem is very much prevailing in most of the larger states of India: Jharkhand, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh. Then we come to this third important indicator, that is underweight. So again we see that there is a huge proportion of children who are underweight, and this is directly related to availability of proper food and nutrition. So all these indicators show that there is absolutely lack of proper diet, proper food, and proper nutrition for children. And when there is absolute lack of proper diet and nutrition, the immediate consequence is prevalence of anemia. Children age 6 to 59 month. 59 month means up to the age of 5 years. There is a huge prevalence of anemia. We can see that in a state like Haryana, which is one of the most developed state in terms of per capita income and other indicators, the prevalence of anemia is up to 70%. And this is actually applicable for states like Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Karnataka. All these states are having serious prevalence of anemia, all around 60 to 70%. Now, this includes basically the girl child also. And we can say that the 70% of the girl child is anemic along with the male childs. So, keeping in mind the kind of situation which is prevailing, we have rather the government has identified the thrust areas in the domain of health of the children. So there are four specific thrust areas. One, neonatal and child health. Here, essential newborn care at every delivery point at time of birth. Then facility-based sick newborn care. Then home-based newborn care and home-based young care. The second thrust area is nutrition. We have already highlighted the importance of nutrition. Then management of common childhood illness. Yes, management of common childhood illness is again a very serious issue, as we have identified most of the mortalities are caused because of the common childhood illness, and these can be managed very properly with a better health condition. So management of childhood diarrheal disease and acute respiratory infection. Most of the mortalities are caused because of diarrhea or acute respiratory infection. So respiratory problem is very much there. Even during this COVID-19 time, we know that acute respiratory problem are basically witnessed by people who are getting affected by COVID-19. So respiratory problem is a serious problem, and then children are also dying because of respiratory infections. So this is the third core area, and the fourth one is the immunization, because most of the preventable disease can be prevented through immunization. In India, we have experienced that we have controlled several communicable diseases through implementation of proper immunization program, and that is why the fourth thrust area is immunization, intensification of routine immunization, then eliminating measles and Japanese encephalitis related death, then polio eradication, etc. All these things are possible through immunization. Vaccination uh, is something that we are talking about when we are talking about actually immunization. Sometimes it is through oral drugs, but most of the time it is through vaccines. Under the Universal Immunization Program, Government of India is providing vaccines to prevent 7 vaccine preventable diseases. 7 common vaccine preventable diseases have been identified, and Government of India is providing all possible support for administration of this immunization program. Diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, measles, and severe form of childhood tuberculosis and hepatitis B, etc. These are the problems for which vaccines are available. Even for COVID-19, we know that everybody is waiting for the vaccines and immunization. So these were the problems that we discussed. Now here we have presented the National Health Policy and Sustainable Development Goals together, but we have already talked about these things. Now we come to the last part of this presentation. These are the programs and policies in India. So basically health is a state issue in India, and it also figures in the union government's priorities. The National Rural Health Mission was a major program started in this millennium, and then this National Rural Health Mission primarily became the National Health Mission because it addressed to some of the urban areas, the problems in some of the urban areas also. So there are specific programs for newborn and child care. I have included some of these programs. Facility-based newborn and child care. Neonatal mortality is one of the major contributor to the infant mortality. To address the issue of higher neonatal and early neonatal mortality, facility-based newborn care services at health facilities have been emphasized. Setting up of facilities for care of sick newborns, such as special newborn care units, then newborn stabilization units, and newborn baby corners at different level is thrust area under NHM, that is National Health Mission. So this program started under the NRHM, and then now these are primarily the focus areas under the NHM program. Then we have another program that is Janani Shishu Suraksha Karikram, and then a few other programs. One is important, and this is facility-based integrated management of neonatal and childhood illness. So this is a facility-based integrated management of neonatal and childhood children who are born with some kind of specific problem, who are underweight, who have respiratory problem, or who have who need immediate support through ventilation. For those children, actually facility based integrated management of neonatal and childhood program is started. This is available in many district level hospitals and other medical college level facility centers. So here we need extension of these facility-based integrated management of neonatal and childhood illnesses, because we have seen that most of the mortalities are actually caused because of these problems and ailments. And then there is another provision of home-based newborn care. We know that in India, very often uh, deliveries are actually home-based delivery. Not all the deliveries are institutional delivery. So those uh, mothers who deliver children at home, they need home-based newborn care also. And one of the important reasons for promoting institutional delivery is this, that the institutional setup do provide some kind of immediate facility-based services to the newborn babies. So these are the some of the specific programs. There are many programs. Every state is having some specific program. So anybody interested in understanding those things can go to the website of the state government, or even the government, yeah, union government. So thank you very much for being with me. Before I end this session, I would like to summarize the whole thing. Health of the children is a very serious issue for whole world. In developing countries, the problem is more severe. In India, the problem is more severe. Most of the problems are basically caused because of lack of nutrition, lack of proper food, because the children are anemic, they are not having proper immune system because of lack of food, stunting, wasting, underweight, all these problems are prevailing, anemia is prevailing. And then they have some kind of they become victim of preventable disease. Immunization is not not available for all those preventable diseases. So we need huge investment, huge larger care in this sector, and only through making appropriate intervention here we can think of improving the health care of the present as well as future generation. So when we think of health for all, we need to think of health of the children, and especially health of the girl child. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop share and then end this meeting. Thank you.